Jean-Paul Sartre's Being and Nothingness, first published in 1943, stands as one of the most significant philosophical works of the 20th century. Sartre, a leading figure in existentialism, used this monumental text to explore human existence, freedom, and consciousness. The work was written during World War II, in the context of Sartre's own experiences with the French Resistance. Being and Nothingness delves into the complexities of existence and freedom, proposing that humans are defined not by an essence but by the choices they make in life. Sartre's central focus is on the concept of nothingness, which plays a crucial role in his philosophy of existentialism. Being and non-being. Sartre's philosophy begins with the distinction between being and non-being. For Sartre, being is the reality that exists independently of human perception, while non-being refers to what does not exist. This distinction, however, is not binary but interrelated. Humans encounter both being and non-being in their experience of the world. In Being and Nothingness, Sartre argues that humans are fundamentally defined by this encounter with non-being, as they strive to make sense of their existence in relation to what is absent or not yet realized. This struggle forms the core of human freedom. According to Sartre, to exist as a human is to be caught between being and non-being, constantly making choices in the face of uncertainty and lack. Consciousness and the for itself. A key aspect of Sartre's existential philosophy is his analysis of consciousness, which he describes as a state of being for itself. Unlike objects that exist in a state of in itself, merely being without awareness, human consciousness is self-aware and reflective. Sartre emphasizes that consciousness is always directed towards something other than itself. This concept, known as intentionally, means that consciousness is always about something, whether that be an object in the external world or an internal thought. In this regard, Sartre's ideas were heavily influenced by phenomenology, particularly the work of Edmund Husserl. Sartre further contends that consciousness allows humans to transcend their present condition by imagining alternatives or possibilities, thus highlighting the role of freedom and responsibility. Central to Sartre's existentialism is the notion of radical freedom. He famously stated, "Man is condemned to be free." This means that, in Sartre's view, humans are fundamentally free to choose their actions, values, and identities. There is no predetermined essence or destiny that shapes human life, rather, individuals must create meaning through their choices. However, with this freedom comes immense responsibility. Sartre argues that humans cannot escape the burden of responsibility for their actions, as every choice has consequences for oneself and others. The recognition of this responsibility often leads to a sense of anguish, as individuals realize that there is no external force, such as God or fate, determining their path. This emphasis on freedom and responsibility is one of the defining characteristics of Sartre's existentialist thought. Bad faith. One of Sartre's most important concepts in Being and Nothingness is bad faith. Bad faith refers to the act of lying to oneself, of denying one's own freedom and responsibility. This occurs when individuals deceive themselves into believing that they are not free, that their actions are determined by external forces such as society, biology, or circumstances. For instance, a person may claim that they are just following orders or that they have no choice in a particular situation. Sartre argues that these are examples of bad faith because they represent a refusal to acknowledge one's own freedom and agency. Bad faith is a form of self-deception that allows individuals to avoid the anxiety that comes with the realization of their freedom. Sartre's critique of bad faith highlights the importance of authenticity, of living in accordance with one's true recognition of freedom. The other and the look. In Being and Nothingness, Sartre also explores the relationship between the self and others. He argues that the presence of the other plays a crucial role in the development of self-consciousness. Sartre introduces the concept of the look to describe how individuals become aware of themselves as objects in the eyes of others. When another person looks at us, we become aware of our own being, not just as subjects with consciousness but as objects that can be perceived and judged by others. This realization can create feelings of shame or discomfort, as it reveals the limitations of our freedom. However, it also highlights the interconnectedness of human existence, as our sense of self is shaped by our relationships with others. Sartre's analysis of the other emphasizes the importance of social context in the development of individual identity, being for others. Building on the concept of the look, Sartre introduces the idea of being for others. This refers to the way in which individuals are constantly aware of how they are perceived by others. Sartre argues that our relationships with others often involve a struggle for control and recognition. We want to be seen by others in a certain way, but we also fear being reduced to mere objects in their eyes. This tension between freedom and objectification is a central theme in Sartre's existential philosophy. Being for others highlights the complexities of human relationships, as individuals seek both autonomy and connection. Sartre suggests that this dynamic can lead to conflict, as individuals attempt to assert their freedom while also navigating the expectations and judgments of others. Nothingness and freedom. One of the most profound insights in Being and Nothingness is Sartre's exploration of nothingness. For Sartre, nothingness is not just the absence of being, but a fundamental aspect of human existence. It is through the experience of nothingness that humans realize their freedom. Sartre argues that humans are not defined by what they are, but by what they are not. This means that individuals are constantly in a state of becoming, always transcending their current condition in search of new possibilities. Nothingness allows humans to break free from the constraints of the present and imagine different futures. However, this freedom also comes with a sense of anxiety, as individuals must confront the uncertainty and indeterminacy of existence. Sartre's emphasis on nothingness underscores the existentialist idea that humans are always in the process of creating themselves through their choices, critiques, and legacy. Since its publication, Being and Nothingness has been the subject of extensive debate and criticism. Some philosophers have criticized Sartre's emphasis on individual freedom, arguing that it overlooks the influence of social and economic conditions on human agency. Others have questioned Sartre's rejection of a fixed human essence, suggesting that this leads to a nihilistic view of existence. Despite these critiques, Being and Nothingness remains a foundational text in existential philosophy. Its exploration of freedom, responsibility, and the nature of consciousness continues to resonate with readers and thinkers around the world. Sartre's work has also had a profound influence on other disciplines, including literature, psychology, and political theory. In particular, his ideas about bad faith and authenticity have inspired thinkers in areas such as existential psychotherapy and critical theory. Jean-Paul Sartre's Being and Nothingness is a landmark work in existential philosophy. Through its exploration of concepts such as freedom, bad faith, and nothingness, Sartre challenges traditional notions of human existence and offers a radical vision of individual responsibility. His emphasis on the role of consciousness and the importance of choice in shaping one's identity has had a lasting impact on both philosophy and broader intellectual thought. As one of the most influential philosophical texts of the 20th century, Being and Nothingness continues to provoke reflection on the nature of human existence and the meaning of freedom.